me upset, and she came back and waited a year before she called Trish.
Almost a year, yeah.
I'm in, and I just need to lose this amount of weight. So I called her, but since I'm home, I prepare her dinner, and I fix it for everybody. So Vivian and I had the same dinners, but the rest of the time I ate whatever Vivian had. And I lost pounds just doing that. So by May, I said, okay, I'll do it. I'm in. And I ended up losing 47 pounds and got down to a 28-inch waist, which is back up to a 30. I can find clothes at 30. I can't find them at 28. So that's mine.
And I have lost over 100 pounds.
Wow.
And Trish asked me like 8 years ago or more. Actually, it's more now. It was like 9 years ago. I think, first talked to me about this, and I'm like, nah. Took me 8 years.
Well,
we're ready when we're ready.
That's right.
Tell her why you got ready.
Oh, and I got ready. Oh, yes. I had to fly on a business trip, and it was a smaller jet, and I had to get a seatbelt extender. But I didn't just have to get a seatbelt extender. I had to get up out of my seat and walk back up front to ask for a seatbelt extender, and I was mortified.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't want that to happen again. So like 2.5 months before my next trip was supposed to take place, I called Trish up, and because I was trying to do it by myself, and that doesn't happen. And I called Trish and said, can I lose 25 pounds? Because that's all I thought I could lose. Huh. It's over 100. Huh. I went down the side of a building last month, 10 stories.
That is so awesome. Great story, both of them.
My husband says I've changed more than just physically.
Oh, of course.
She's not the same gal. No. I like her.
She's a cool gal now, huh?
I really like this one.
Boy, does he. And we'll leave it there.
Okay, then. Okay, you two can go back on mute now. Thank you. Oh, my gosh. Okay, let's see. Megan, why don't you share your story? Who you are, how long you've been coaching, where are you from, etc. So that Heidi knows who she's talking to.
Hi, Heidi. Welcome. I'm Megan.
Hi, Megan.
I'm in Vista, California. And I was trying to add up how long I've been coaching. I don't never get it right. Do you know, Trish?
I actually don't know.
I've been saying I've kept my weight off for almost 4 years, and I don't think that's correct.
I don't think you've been on program that long.
Exactly. I need to go back. I started in May 2016, so it's really three years that I've been on program, and I started coaching about 3 months after I started the program. My goal was to lose 50 pounds, and I lost 50 pounds exactly to the day, 5 months.
Wow.
And then I went into transition, and I lost another 12 pounds in transition. So I lost a total of 62 pounds. I've gained some of that back. So even after listening to the calls tonight, I'm putting myself back on 5 and 1 because I'm not measuring and I'm not setting timers. So I need to lose about 8 to get back to where I want to be.
Uh-huh.
My health journey and how I know Trish is that I stalked her and loitered on her page for at least a year and a half. Never did I comment on anything. Never did I like anything because I was afraid she was going to come and get me. Because I didn't know what this was all about.
Right.
And it just gotten to a point. I got laid off a month before I turned 50, weighing at 225. And driving home that day, I was thinking, turning 50, this was not part of the plan. To be obese, to be unemployed, to be crying in my car, to be thinking I don't even have anything that I can go put on to go to an interview, and I have zero confidence and self-esteem because I can't even button what I do own. And I got home, and then that's when I reached out to Trish. I was a credit card thrower because I'm like, I'll try this anyway. I've tried everything else. Let's give this a shot. And it's changed my life.
We know each other through Poodles.
Poodles. Yes,
Poodle.
we became Facebook friends through the Poodles.
So speaking of Poodles, Miss Deb, let's have you unmute.
Okay, so I'm Deborah. I live in Washington State.
Oh, wow.
Yep, and I've been coaching, I think, about a year and a half, short of that. And let's see. I'm a credit card thrower too. I mean, I came home from work one night and I'd had it. I was just miserable. I put on a lot of weight. I was miserable. Happened to look on Facebook, and there was this before and after from this gal. I didn't know her, but she said, if you're interested, PM me. And I did. And we talked, I think the next day maybe. Yeah. And it was like, okay, here we go. And, yeah, the rest is kind of history. So I lost 70 pounds in 7.5 months.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's great. It's wonderful. And I think I started coaching a few months after that. I had some financial things that got in the way. But and so I know Trish is a poodle person as well. Her and I both met in Grass Valley, California, and did a rescue together, basically. That's not what we were there to do, but that's what it turned out to be. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And so we have traveled the world together too. We went to Bali and Thailand and Hong Kong and Singapore in
Travel.
May, yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And then I went to the hospital.
Oh yeah. She brought home a tropical disease.
No, I didn't. No.
So, well, the disease part was not fun, but
No.
it was funny.
No.
She's really good about posting on social media, and I noticed that when she first got home, that it was really quiet on the Deb front, and there were no postings. But I thought, well, dude, we're all tired, and we were 15 hours time difference, so I wasn't really surprised. And then the first thing that I do see is here she is in a hospital bed, all hooked up to all kind of monitors. I'm like, whoa, what happened?
Just to let you know, yeah.
That's why you haven't heard from me.
Yeah.
My gosh. Okay, so let's scooch on over to Gwyneth and introduce yourself and your story and how you're connected to the family.
Hi. Sorry, I was changing the dog around. Sorry. Relocating him. Apologize. I have some dogs and I foster dogs. So there's that. Yeah, totally fun. My name's Gwyneth. And I got into this cool situation from my friend Megan. I was not, well, I can't say I'm not a stalker, but I didn't stalk on this particular program. I saw Megan, I saw this before and after picture of Megan from not Megan. And I'm like, I texted her, I think, and was like, Megan, some lady's got your picture. Like, WT, do you even know this is going on? And she's like, oh yeah, it's probably Trish. And I'm like, well, that's good. I go, by the way, you look great. And she was doing this. Trish had this series where people would speak and bring in coaches or bring in someone that had a life story. And it was really interesting. But I was like, never met her before. Going to totally support my friend Megan because I know how she loves to talk in public. So, which she doesn't at all. At that point, she's like, no. But she didn't. I went to listen to support her. And, it obviously hit home with me. So I called her up afterwards and was just kind of joined in after I went to my other friend's 50th party. But it was one of those moments where, always been athletic all my life. Like I was athletic. I wasn't like any Rhodes Scholar in the sports arena, but I could play any sport. I was always healthy and active, and I always thought of that. But through decades, quote unquote, and multiple decades of working 10, 12, 15, 18 hours a day for 7 days a week, sometimes you kind of have that moment where you just get disengaged from everything and you get kind of hopeless. So it was at a point where literally I was like, I refused to go buy, I did not want to buy a size 16, but I had to at a certain point, but I did not want to buy that, but I had to because I had some outing I had to go to. I was mortified. I didn't want to do that, but they were even tight. Like I should have actually been buying the 18 because that was going to fit me, but I was like, nope, it's fine. I'm totally fine. I'm going to be there and I'm going to unbutton them in the car and I'm totally good. And so it was like, I was mortified by the size and I was like, I'm just not going to buy clothes anymore. And
I'll just be naked.
well, and it's like, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. This is what I'm going to have. I'm going to be one of those people where they're so big that they don't know they have holes in the clothes because they can't see them. And you're like, that's what I have to come to terms with. But it was, sad in the fact that I tried a lot, wholeheartedly tried. It just didn't work. So I was like, well, you know what? My friend Megan did this. It works. She looked like a knockout before. She was always amazing. But she was like, damn, Megan, what is going on? So I came back from my friend's 50th birthday party and did that and lost the weight. Now, I lost the weight. I could have done it earlier, but I lost 50 pounds or nearly 49 something and 46 and a half inches in 24 weeks. And it could have been sooner if I was willing to let go of my peanut butter obsession. But I came to terms with that along the way. So that was fun. But, it's been great and it's been wonderful. And I'm the one where almost not immediately was I a coach, but I coached because after I lost the weight, who I ride with, it's a different position that you have when you ride horses. Someone there was like, I want to lose weight. She was going on Girls Week. And so she was like, I became a coach for one person, thought I'm going to do it. I never really did it. I actually started to focus on coaching this past March. And so a couple of clients have come and gone since then. So it's been good. But I've been kind of doing a reinforced effort on that one really since March of this year.
Cool.
There you go. And I live in San Francisco.
Awesome.
What were you health-wise, Glenn? Tell her about that.
I'm sorry. Can you?
Health-wise.
Oh, me. I was, before I started this, I was like 12 pounds. Diabetic, my blood type 1 diabetic, so not type 2, but a type 1 diabetic. So my blood sugars were, I just come out of a huge, massive car accident because my blood sugars were so low. It was the best A1C I'd ever had in my entire life. But the fact is they were predominantly 45, but they'd swing to like 400. So it was not healthy, but in all honesty, they were the lowest A1C numbers. My doctors, these are great on paper. If you look at it day to day, it was not healthy at all. So that was very problematic. And the food that I ate wasn't horrible. I mean, it wasn't delightful, but it wasn't horrible. But it was, biggest change that I had was the eating patterns. I had terrible eating patterns. I had, on my way into work at 6 a.m., I had a 64 ounce of coffee with 2 donuts, and I probably didn't eat till like 2:30, but that was only if someone was going out to get something and they got me something and put it on my desk, and I would say, I'll get it in a few minutes, and then by 5:30 I still hadn't eaten it, and I was going to go, well, I'll just put it in the car and eat it when I get home, and then a few hours later I still hadn't left work. So my eating schedule was horrific, but it wasn't, my choices weren't necessarily horrible. My schedule was horrific. So I was starving and then I overindulged. Didn't really do anything. I mean, exercise was riding my horses and walking my dogs. When you're that much overweight and you have elderly dogs, you're carrying your dogs, you're totally fine walking half a block. Totally fine. And they're little dogs. They're not like young standard poodles. I have a Frug who's 14. So half a block is more than enough. So, I mean, it's a little different lifestyle. And riding my horse, he did most of the work. I basically weebled all over him.
Weebled.
It was true. It was true. It was like a weeble. It was sad, but So that's where it was. So the health is not very good, but now I'm back to riding and jumping my horse. I feel very healthy. I went down to 165. I'm right now 179. So I had, yeah, so it's good. So I'm kind of moving that back around. I'm on 5 and 1, but again, peanut butter is a terrible obsession.
I love it. I love it.
I know they fool you with PB2. PB2 is delicious, but doesn't have the texture. But so that's it. But it's good. I mean, kind of getting back in. I eat regularly, eat healthy, good choices, constantly losing. So it's all positive. And the personal development that's going on with this thing. I mean, I'm getting knocked on my ass right now because of this personal development. But it's the only time you grow is when you completely crumble and then you grow. So I'm a complete wreck, but I'm happy. So whatever.
In theory, it's good for us, right?
It is good. I mean, I am happy and I am a complete wreck, but it's all good.
I think Christine can talk about that for sure. For sure. All right, let's have you share your story, Missy. And since you guys are neighbors, like literally neighbors.
Yeah, I mean, literally, my son lives in Hermitage, so I have been on program since May of 2018. I've lost 75 pounds in that time frame. I'm stuck right where I am, but I'm on it and still doing it. So
Your inches are still coming off, though, right?
now they've even started slowing down. So, but it's okay. It's all right. I'll break through at some point. This will break and I will get to my goal. I just hope it's not another 6 months down the road, but that's okay. I'm okay. I started coaching in June of 2018. So about a month after I'd been on program, I'd seen, a lot of weight loss. So I thought, hey, I'll pay it forward. And let's see, I know Trish, actually, I didn't know Trish before May of 2018, but my mom and Trish, my mom was my original coach, they were friends when my mother lived in California back in the mid 80s. So 30 plus years they had known each other.
35, I think.
Yeah, it was pretty close. They had reconnected, I don't know, a month or two earlier when you were in Orlando of 2018. So March, April of 2018, Mom had gotten on program and she loved it. So I was one of her training calls. And my daughter, as soon as she heard it, said, yep, I'm on. And I was like, no, I'll let Sam do it and I'll see. And I'll wait. The next morning I said, just sign me up. I figured it was one more thing I'd fail at. It's not a big deal. I tried to lose weight for years. My highest weight was 300, actually 297.8 if we want to be exact. But I was eating whole food plant-based and had lost 35 pounds on that. So anyway, that's kind of my story. But as Gwyneth was saying, the personal development will absolutely knock you on your butt. So, yep, it's coming.
For sure.
Not here, it's coming. It's fun. I mean, last night I posted a video on fear, which is so stupid, but it took me literally 5 minutes just to hit the stupid post button.
No.
I kept going back over it, going, oh, but my hair, I had been at the pool all day, so my hair was all nasty. And then it was like, God, I was seeing all the dust bunnies on my ceiling because it's so dusty around here. And then I was just like, oh my God, nobody wants to hear this. And then I was like, just screw it. Just forget it. I'm going to hit the post button, and I hit it.
And you're still here.
Yeah, I did. Well, I knew I wasn't going to die, but it was worse. I could have just hit the delete button and it would have been gone. Nobody would have seen it.
No, but it's so interesting because when we're vulnerable and real and authentic is when people connect the most to us. The most. So that is one thing that we're learning in our Habit Finder training. And, after a live that I did the other day from, what day did we paint, Megan? Sunday? Is that when we were Sunday?
Saturday?
Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. And so on the way down there, I did a live about, hey, we're real people. Guess what? Sometimes we gain our weight back, or some of it at least, because we're still human and we still come equipped with the bad habits that we had before. And they're however old we are. And so I get back here, and we had a lovely afternoon. Megan and Tori and I were painting wine bottles with little lights in it. We had a good old time. And I get a message from this lady who's a poodle friend who's been watching me for years, she says. But she's like, I've been watching you girls, and you look like you have a lot of fun. And so can you PM me? And I went to her page. It's Iowa. And when she messaged me, it's like 8:40 at night my time. I'm like, dang, wow. Isn't that make it like 10:40 or 7? Was it right? 2 hours? Yeah. And I'm like, so I said, well, is tomorrow a good time for you? And then my training kicked in, and I'm like, well, I'm thinking, well, duh, she's awake right now because she's messaging Mike right now. And I said, or is right now a good time to talk? Do you have about 20 minutes right now? She's a handful, I can tell already. She goes, well, I'm still awake and the meds won't kick in for a while, so let's talk now. But that's what she was interested in, is that's what caught her attention. And I'm like, guess what? The milk duds still follow me around. It's the sugar monster. It's the whole, that part of our brain that kicks in. And it's funny that the fat jeans now are the size 4s, because the old ones used to be like the 18s before. But now I'm like, because when I got dressed that afternoon, that's what I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe it's time to lay out that because my joints are hurting because of the sugar and all that stuff. And I thought, that's enough. But this is why we're just better together, when we can share that. But it was that post, not all the other wonderful Life is Perfect posts that she responded to. And she wasn't just interested in program. She has 60 or 70 pounds to lose, but she says, and you girls look like you're having a lot of fun, and I want to do what you're doing. I'm like, all right. So anyway, so Heidi, why don't you tell them a little bit about you, whatever you'd like to share about you and how you got here?
Well, my story started about 3 years ago. I got really sick and I lost 40 pounds in a month. Diagnosed with a lot of really crappy diseases. So I spent the last couple of years learning a lot about nutrition. And some of the things I had learned, I really wanted to share with people, because I feel like just the things I've learned about keeping my own body healthy, holy crap, I feel so much better. What is wrong? Why doesn't anybody else know this? And I came across, well, I'm also a retired paramedic. We'll just say that. Medically retired. Loved my job. Still love helping people. That's kind of my thing. And then I ran across Trisha's ad, and I was like, okay, I want to be a health coach. So here I am.
It was just a fun connection, and I told her, for starters, this is not remotely how one normally goes about looking for clients and coaches, but I want to have a huge impact on this planet, and where can we find like-minded people? So let's just throw something out there and see if it works. So it's been a fun journey, and here we are. So let's see. Okay, who has this? All right. I want to hear, because this is how we coach our clients now. If y'all didn't know, this is how we do it. So the beauty about it is it tells us what to do and how to do it. So I want to know from you what you love about it. Like, how have you been using it? How have you been implementing? How is it going so far? Who wants to go first? Christine, have you been using it?
I have not.
Not yet?
Not yet. Don't really have anybody who's in it. I have that one client, but she's following program when she feels like following program.
Oh, the one from the plane on the trip home? That one?
Yeah, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk to her tomorrow.
Okay.
She still has lost weight, but she's struggling. You know, she's tried so many other things. You know, much like the rest of us, tried so many other things in the past and has failed at every single one of them. And she's almost convinced herself that she's going to fail at this too.
Especially if you don't follow the rules.
Right. And that's kind of what I've told her. But she had a conversation with her husband that he's not going to ask her to make brownies and cookies because she can't say strong when she's making those for him.
Interesting.
And she's the one that posted, I don't know if anybody saw it, but she's buying little boxes of raisins for Halloween instead of having the candy in her house because she can't do it. So at least she's starting to recognize. We've had lots of conversations and I've, keep mentioning, go back to the life book, start getting back in there. She tells me she's going to do it, but we all know what happens when she fears success, she fears failure, and I think in some respects it's paralyzed her. So.
Okay. All right.
But I'm reading it. I know what I'm supposed to do, so.
Well, I think that this is when we'll talk about it with her tomorrow night, but especially this is what I talk to my clients about. You guys, the magic food, honestly, is like 25% of the program, if not like 20%, because truly, this is where we got to do the work. And if you're not changing your thinking and we're not guiding them through that process here, you're right. It'll be just like everything else because it won't work because you're not following it and you're not changing any habits. So let's see. Craigers, how about you guys?
Started to work on this with a client last week, but she hadn't done anything yet. So I gave her the assignment to do it over the weekend, and we will talk about it when we talk tomorrow.
Okay.
So
we've got clients that we've told them when they get their new order comes up, order the new books.
Mm-hmm. So I have
going through them.
I have one existing client that will be doing that. We'll start this week, and I have there's another one that needs to still definitely get this to start working on it.
We told her, she placed her order and didn't put the books in, then called us.
She placed her own order?
This is one of the clients that
is ongoing.
Okay. Existing client.
Placed her order and just didn't add the books to it. And then there's another I've talked to about getting the books, and she hasn't purchased them yet, but I want to start talking to her about some of the things just to kind of entice her into getting that so that she can work on the mindset.
Yeah. Because truly that's just where the battle's going to be.
Yeah.
For all of us. It's just, you can't fix it if you don't address that from the get-go.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I have another client I told to order. I didn't tell her. I just strongly suggested that they order, and she didn't put on her order, and she really needs this. She needs the mental part of it.
So I think one way to, what do you think is a good way to encourage them to do that? The old way that we used to do in the old Habits of Health was that when an issue came up, maybe a stress issue or a sleep issue or an exercise issue, oh my gosh, in the chapter on exercise, blah, 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 blah. Oh, wait, you don't have that.
Yeah, they don't. And what I'm doing right now, I mean, it's wonderful that they're going through all of this, because that's one of the things that also I've been talking about with existing clients. The fact that they're going through this on the Habits of Health call.
Yes.
And I'm just referring them. I'm like, hey, do this. So the one client who came in just before this launched, I'm going to be talking to her about, okay, until I really recommend getting this. Until you do, let's now go through, watch one of those Habits of Health calls. Let's start going through this methodically, and then we can discuss them. and see what she can do that way.
I think we want to all of us make sure that we're plugging the clients into the Wednesday night calls. As far as new coach training comes, Heidi, pretty much there's a Monday night call and there is Wednesday night for an hour. And because if we from the get-go talk to new coaches and therefore new clients about this is what's part of your support system, then us, the coaches, we don't have to work that hard in that department because it's beautiful, it's professional, and it's already there. And so, and I'll be straight here. For a lot of years in the beginning, I remember that Monday night was not a rock in my schedule because it was always called the leadership call. And I feel like I was a leader. I didn't have anybody to lead. For a lot of years, I didn't have any coaches. So I'm like, well, what the hell am I going to be doing on a leadership call? Well, that's the communication from corporate. And I love that they call it Coach Monday now. And, but that's just really awesome. We'll always find out everything that we need to know from there. And so you always want to have the Monday night on your calendar, the Wednesday night on your calendar, and then the boot camp of your choice pretty much on Saturday morning. I'll usually put the one that we've been doing, the Level Up boot camp. A lot of us are participating in on Saturday morning is the one that I put the link to in the chat usually. And Terry Miller leads the call, and she's very much a technician, like a mechanic, about this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this. And she'll tell it from the viewpoint of, if you're a brand new coach, this is exactly what you need to do. And then if you're a leader coach, then maybe go back and make sure that you haven't forgotten any of this part of the process and kind of double check to make sure the systems are in place. And I was talking to my coach this morning. We have all who have been on that call going, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Oh crap, I forgot about that. Because if you've been coaching for a while, you might have forgotten some things. So that's a really good place to be. So if you can work those in, that's a good thing too. Anybody else actively using their life book with their clients yet? Miss Deb?
I will be beginning here very shortly as soon as Rochelle gets her kit.
Okay.
So we got the book, and we're going to do this thing.
What I like about it is it says, for example, on page 17, this says your life book. It's the introduction. It should take them 1 day to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It take 1 day. That's not a long time. And then, how is your life? Current story. Well, that should take 1 week.
Yeah, it's
And
nice.
I love how it says here. So here it says your current story should take your client no longer than a week to complete. This is the really important time for your client to be awakened to the current state of health they find themselves in today. They should be encouraged to spend some time and reflect on not just where they are, but also how they're thinking and feeling about their current reality. Also, to observe and reflect on their current choices and connect those to their current placement in the key areas of health and well-being. Also, it'll be important for your client to realize that in order for them to use the roadmap provided by the Habits of Health Transformational System, and specifically your Lifebook's 26 progressive elements, it's important to develop the habit of consistent progress and engagement in order to install this new habit of health focus. So it's, we have even what to ask them. Key questions. I mean, truly, when it was explained tonight on the call about she said she reminded her like the book that went with the teacher's book to start the school year out. Here's the question to ask the kid. This is it, guys. Because this will also help them once we have them plugged into this. It's like Dr. A designed it. If our coach calls are just kind of quick system checks, they should not be a half an hour long or an hour and a half long or whatever. And they should also, when the coach or the client sees that we're just walking them through this and they're pretty much doing all their work in their own life book, then they're like, oh, well, my friend Susie's asking now. I bet you I can help her because this doesn't look that hard. It looks like they're just like reading out a book. And so it makes it to where it's going to be more easier, I think, for clients to think about converting into coaches because it's not that hard. If we don't make it look hard, if we don't make it look like it takes a lot of time, because it really shouldn't, If you have 3 clients, it shouldn't take you an hour and a half to do your client check-ins in one night. Quick like. Okay. Well, good stuff. Yes, Miss Gwyneth? You're muted. Hold on.
Sorry.
That's right.
On my mouse. I actually have a day 1 check-in with my client with Megan at 7, just when this is over. So she is a reader. She's like, there's a lot of material to read. I'm like, pace yourself, focus on the life book there. And we've already told her to download the app so we can check in on a day 1 to make sure that she's downloaded the app and kind of go into the intro and reading that to see how far she's gone. So this is kind of nice because I didn't have a backload of clients to kind of, where Letty and Bobby are in the situation of having folks order the book. It just came in the kit. So it's good to go from the beginning.
Yeah.
So, and she seems to be a reader and likes information.
Okay.
Which is good. So
I think as far as when it comes to helping them work through the app stuff, there's a lot of good features there, but because it's new, it's still buggy. And so me personally, my alarm on my phone is still set to eat every 3 hours. My regular alarm, just like the good old-fashioned way that I used to do this for the last 9 years before there was an app that sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. The distressing part is that when I go to bed, if I didn't remember to hit my little 10 o'clock at night last fueling, you missed the day. Okay, all right, well, you know what? It's not going to get all broken up about it. But I know that they're working on those kind of things. So you might think about encouraging the client, yes, because what I do is I tend to tick my meals off like after they should have happened. So if you tend to be an earlier person and you're going to go to bed earlier, then you should probably, make sure your first fueling, like Letty, what time is your first fueling? Because you guys are up at the dark 30.
It depends. Yeah, it depends. It'll be, depending what time I get up, it could be as early as about maybe 3:15.
Oh, geez.
4:15.
Look at Heidi's face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Normally it's 3 a.m. Monday through Friday. On the week she works Friday. I'm up at 3 or 2. If Toby gets up, I
He's
get
up.
awake, I get up. So I've had my first fueling at 1. And it really throws it off from the app. Because your first fueling on the app is at 5.
Oh boy.
Well, I guess my point is let's not get all hung up about the exact timing of the app because we're still working on that. So I would help the client with, yes, it's okay to track them off, because what I do love about it is tracking the water for them for sure, and focusing their why they're doing this on putting their why in there, the stop challenge choose of that is awesome. So when we can do all of that, I think that's really cool. And just, we're always in the world of, putting everything in the best light, because that's how we roll here in Optavia. Sometimes it doesn't always work out as sunshine and unicorns, but most of the time it does.
Not at 1 a.m.
Well, they have an older doggy, and he sometimes needs to get up and do his beeswax at that hour.
Hoofda.
Well, we actually have 3 dogs, okay?
Yeah.
So Lily is the really good one. She'll stay under the covers, snuggled up. She doesn't get up until she's ready to get up, which
Most
is
of the
usually
time.
around 5 or 6. Most all the time, unless she's not feeling well. But Toby, he'll go out, and then he'll settle down. We'll shut the door, leave him out there. Then Charlie decides he wants to go out. Not when Toby goes. He wants to make sure everybody's settled down. Then he wants to go out.
Typical.
Driving along, your dad said, "Okay, we're all going to the restroom. I'm getting gas. Let's fill up. Everybody go." And it's 2 miles down the road. I need to go to the restroom. Why didn't you go back then? Didn't need to go back then.
Hilarious.
Us and our animals here for sure. Yeah. So let's just use that. I love the stop challenge choose mechanism that we have in the app. That's really wonderful. The focusing when they first sign up, they have to put in their why. They can take a picture of either themselves now or who they want to get back to. I don't know. Really, that's your main reason. And that brings them all back around to that. So I think that's a really cool feature that we've got available to them for sure. Okay. Miss Gail, do you have any words of wisdom over there? You're not muted at all. You can talk.
Hello.
That's it? That's all you got tonight?
Well, it's because I'm not, but it's kind of like the Stop Challenge Choose business is like, that's kind of what I have to do is like, or maybe just, tempted by, oh, they got a nice jelly-filled donut, but, like, but I'm not a pop drinker. So if I go to bingo, they have a pop machine, but I'm not a pop drinker. So I either get a big cup so I can put ice water in it, or I'll get iced tea, unsweetened, with just a little dash of lemon juice, and that's always been what I prefer anyway. And once in a while, when it starts getting colder, I might have some coffee if I go to the early session. But it's but the rest of the time, like when I'm home, the other days, I have to kind of like my first fueling. I have to get up and I have thyroid, and so I have to take it on an empty stomach, and then I have to wait a little bit, 20 to 30 minutes anyway, and then take the rest of my medication. And lately, I know I did, but somewhere along the line I trashed, I think I even did it in my sleep, but I tweaked my knee a little bit, so it's been hurting me this week. I got a hitch in my giddy up. So it's getting better. But it's like, but
You've lost about 80-ish or so pounds, Gail?
Yeah.
Wow.
And trying to figure out how I can celebrate my special day tomorrow, a la Optavia. So
there's always a brownie with a candle in it.
Yeah, I could do that. And actually, I have the new brownies with the white chocolate chips. So,
Ooh.
There you go. Those are on their way to you, Heidi. You should be getting them soon.
Woo, woo, woo. Yeah. Would you like a cookie? Hello.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I think that is a good call for tonight. Anybody have any questions? Any other comments? Anything like that? No? Okay. Well, then we will see you guys. So our team meeting is going to be on the second Monday of the month. We're not going to do it every single Monday night because that was just not terribly productive. So if you'll add to as a rock on your calendar the second Monday of the month, that'll be us here. Other than that, use it for health assessments. Use it for connecting with your clients. Use it for sponsoring more coaches. If I have not talked to your client in a while, then set up a celebration call, because this is how we help you help them. Ms. Christine, if you are stuck, then maybe it's time for you and me to talk about your goals. Same thing with you, Gail. If we're stuck there, then book a time on my calendar so that we can talk about it, and I can help you get where you want to go. Okay?
Right.
But thank you guys all for being here tonight. Love you bunches.
Hey, Trish,
Thanks.
hang on the line for a
Nice
second.
to meet everybody.
We're so glad you're here, Heidi.
What's that?
I said we're so glad you're here.
Oh, I'm pumped.
And if you want to message me, I've got some stuff tonight, but if you want to message me for available times because you're 2 hours later than me, then I'll have early times available. I know this week is really busy, but let's get your scheduled for sure.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, honey, you're welcome.
Bye.
Can you hang on for a second?
Sure. All right.